live.
Make sure you do it. Did I turn anything off just now? Did I pick the power button or something? Yours is green. Is mine green?
No. Yeah, yours,
okay.
You're on.
Okay. Cool.
You're good.
Hey guys, V from Shark Fin Shears here. Thank you for tuning in to today's class where we're going to be doing a live haircut, bringing you tricks and tips that you can take this week and use behind the chair. I suggest taking one or two of these tricks, trying them out on a client this week, see how they work out for you. Have fun with it. We're going to have fun in today's class. And be sure to tune in every Monday or check out the YouTube channel so you can see the recordings as well. If you're in today's class, please stay tuned to the end. I want to give you a promo code that you can use on the website to shop around that'll help you out when purchasing a pair of shears. Shark Fin is dedicated to bringing education on the tools that you're going to be using behind the chair. I'll talk specifically about the shear that I use and why I like it. And I just want to let you know, again, before we get started, that Shark Fin has a shear for everybody, whether you're looking for a swivel or a non-swivel, a 5.5-inch shear up to a 7, and the different type of blending shears that we offer as well. There's something out there for everybody, and I want to make sure that you have the tool that you're comfortable with in your hand when you're working behind the chair all day. So again, stay tuned until the end. Thank you for tuning in today. And if there's anything in the future that you would like to see, hit us up on Instagram at Shark Fin Shears and let us know what you want to learn about. Let's get started.
Hey guys, welcome to Monday's live class sponsored by Shark Fin Shears. So happy to see all the participants today. I have an awesome client here today looking to get a low to mid skin fade that I'm super excited to share with you guys. If this is your first time in our class, I sent a message out in the chat for Zoom. Please feel free to put some information in there just about yourselves. What's going on? How long have you been cutting? Are you coming in to class from as a student, an instructor? Have you been cutting hair for 5 years, 10 years? Are you looking for information on any of the tools that you're struggling with? What areas are you looking to address with men's cutting today? I'm gonna hit a few key topics that I think are common issues in men's cutting, but if you have any questions, I got Des behind the screen today, and he's gonna help me out and keep us on track. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. We're so happy to be able to come to you guys live. Thank you for your support. This is our way at Shark Fin Shears to be able to give back to the industry for everybody that's been supporting us. So yeah, next week we'll be off for Labor Day. So enjoy your holiday, and then we'll be back on live Mondays. If you have any comments, if you have any feedback on what's working, what you would like to see in the future, you can put that in the chat as well, or you can message us at Shark Fin Shears on Instagram, or email us at education@sharkfinshears.com. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for participating. For today, if you have a pen and paper, I encourage you guys to write down some notes and pay attention to what we're going to be saying on some key topics. So I want to go over what we're going to be talking about today, what you can expect, and then perform the haircut for you. So Billy's going to be sitting in the chair in a second. We're going to do a mid skin fade, but I want to pay attention to defining skin fade. So I'm an educator at a school. I want my students to be extremely versatile, and I want them to retain as many clients as possible. If you are going to turn this job into a career and be a professional, you need to build a book. And there are skills in book building. One of the ways that I talk to my students about building a book is being specific with your client in a way that they can understand it. They don't deal with hair the way that we do. Okay, so we want to give you guys tricks and tips on how to build your book and make things very concrete for your client so that you can get to that targeted haircut on the first try, and then on the second and third when they're coming back, because you're retaining them, you can really zero in on the polish work and fine-tuning specific areas. So today I want to talk about skin fades and kind of different ways we can talk about them and to a client. So I want to talk to my client today specifically about where he wants the skin fade, low, mid, or high. And then I want to talk to him specifically about what is a skin fade to him. And there are 3 things that we can ask that will really narrow down that gap so the client knows what to expect, we know what to do, and then we can follow through in a timely manner. When you're specific about what you do and how you do it and you address that with the client, that's another way that you can be consistent. And if you can be consistent, you're hitting a pain point for a lot of clients out there. They get a great haircut, they get a mediocre haircut, they get a great haircut again. They want consistency, all right? And these tips today will help you guys behind the chair in building your clientele and giving them a consistent haircut. So if any questions are popping off with that explanation, again, feel free to put it in the chat. We'll be here till 2 o'clock. If anything comes up, let me know. All right, so I'm gonna introduce Billy.
We got a comment from a woman named Cassie, by the way.
Cool.
Cassie says, just started cutting this year and would love to learn more about men's cuts.
Awesome. Well, if you're just starting out this year and I don't know your training, so what you do know, you can address just what you've been working on, and then if there's specific areas that you're struggling with, is it top cutting, is it transition, is it fading, is it classic cuts, all scissor haircuts, just anything that you can be specific about, please let me know. But thank you for participating and letting us know who you are and what's currently going on. All right, guys, this is Billy. Billy and I have been friends since 7th grade, so it's awesome to have him out here today. Billy, thank you for coming out. He is working today. He is on his lunch break, so I just really want to thank him for coming out and participating with us today. And I'm going to let him share a little bit about the haircut. I have not cut his hair in like 6 months to
Probably,
a year.
yeah.
Okay. So kind of left Billy high and dry. Sorry, buddy. Schedules have been changing. He has kids. I have kids. We're both working. But anyway, we're back here now. So I'm going to let Billy share with you guys what he's looking for today.
Yeah, so I was thinking like a 2 on the side and then trim on the top.
Okay. That's it? That's all you're giving me today?
Yeah.
All right. So common explanation. So when was your last haircut?
Usually maybe a month and a half ago,
Okay.
right around there.
And are you still fluctuating between like 4 and 6 weeks?
Yeah.
For a haircut?
Yep.
Okay. Depending on what you're going for.
Yeah.
And then the front, are you still trying to keep this? It's down past your eyebrows.
It drives me nuts.
It's
Yeah.
driving you nuts right now?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So 4 to 6 weeks above the eyebrows, but you still want to be able to do what with it? Like, what do you do with it?
I just kind of push it to the side. I'll put product in it if I'm not wearing a hat.
If you're not wearing a hat. Okay. So, and like, what kind of product are we
I
using?
have that like kind of cement clay type stuff.
Okay, so
yeah.
clay, matte finish,
Yep.
dry look, and everything. Okay. Now, last time I was cutting your hair and everything, we were going like tight around the ear. So you said a 2. Are we still going kind of in the fade area?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're still going fade. And then, do you want it? You want to see skin?
At this point, I guess at the low point.
Yeah.
That'd be
All
good.
right, so you want to see skin. Do you
let's
want
see
it
skin.
as smooth as your palm, or you want to have hair there still a little bit?
Maybe a little hair. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. So this is great. So I have a little bit of background with Billy, so I had to go a little bit more in depth about the consultation because it didn't match up with what I remember how I cut Billy's hair, except for leaving it long on top. So he said 2 on the side. We clear about with like a 2. We have done a low to mid skin fade. Skin fade, what I want to talk to you guys about today, does not necessarily mean bald. Depending on if you're going to work by yourself or you're going to work in a shop, maybe if you go in a shop that company, that shop, they're going to tell you when we do bald fades or when we do skin fades, it's bald every time. That's fine. That's their way of doing it. What I want to share with you guys today, if someone says they want a skin fade, it might not necessarily mean that they want to go down to the foil shaver, to absolute bald. So you can just ask a following question if they want to be able to see skin but still want some hair there. The easiest question is to ask them if they want it as smooth as their palm. Most guys know right there, they're like, no, I don't want it that smooth, or yeah, I do, I want it like that. Next thing I'll confirm with Billy is, so Bill, you want to go skin, and then low is like a finger width above the ear, mid is going to be 2, and then high is going to be like 3, 4, like kind of towards the top. So do you want to go?
Mid's good.
Okay, so we can go like, okay, mid, so about 2. All right, so for Bill, I got him facing the mirror. I'm going to show him and define where I put and start the fade. Now our expectations are aligned. I'm not going bald, foil shavers out. The fade line is going to be at about the mid area for Billy, great, and then he wants to keep it longer on top. If I can get those 3 things done for him in this haircut, it's a good haircut. All right, don't forget, you can do an amazing haircut. If it doesn't match the client's expectations, it's not good to them. All right? All right, so we'll move on from here.
They don't ask all those questions at other barbershops.
No, and it seems like a lot, but
no, yeah, I could just say like 2 trim, and they're like, okay, they get started.
yeah, I mean that's the easiest thing to do. Yeah. So, and it might be a good haircut, and it might be what you want. Like it might be a good haircut. You might like it when you leave. To go more specific, and to take that extra step. And that balance, I think, really plays into where client retention comes into play.
Yeah.
You know, for someone to be like, "Oh, no one's ever asked me those questions before," you got to set yourself apart a little bit. All right. So I'm gonna comb Billy's hair out, get a feel for what it's looking like, pick up on a few characteristics of his hair. He's got high density, he's got fine to medium texture, and it lays flat on top. So these are all things that are going to kind of help me tailor what I do and how I do it for Billy. And then lastly, and this is one of the most consistent things that I teach, if you're cutting hair for the first time for someone sitting in your chair, I map out where the bottom separates from the top and where the back separates from the top. So I wet the comb, or I gently wet in the parietal area. I'll turn Billy so you guys can see this. And that parietal area is where the side's going to separate from the top. And what helps us in the shop identify this is where the transition from short to long happens. Now, what I like, Billy's last haircut is overgrown, but I can see the structure that the last barber put in, which I like. They were in their clearing, they were high up here to move from short to long, and then they dipped behind the ear where the crown is, so that they could build a short to long from the back into the crown or into the top. And we're going to follow that same pattern today. So if I put the comb flat on Billy's parietal, combing forward, and just wetting it enough where the hair can talk to me, it'll show me exactly where it's splitting just by a gentle comb. There we go. So this is the area of separation that I'm looking for. Now, if you're starting out and you're looking to improve, knowing where you're at and what you're doing is so helpful. So if you're in school, this is a horseshoe section. What I'm doing is just tailoring it specifically to Billy's head. So we do a horseshoe section. Come up for me just a little bit. Got a nice horseshoe section here. And then again, because of the structure, I can see the structure from the last haircut. I'm gonna dip back here. If you wanna see that in the horseshoe, we'll separate this out a little bit more. And then we can see where Billy's crown dips in the back. And this will give you a nice visual when you're clearing out the hair. So the ebb and flow of a haircut, I'll take my time a little bit here, and then I can move a little bit faster with my clipper work. There we go. And I like to cut the side of the head dry, so I'm just wetting in that parietal and crown area. All right. So we have a closed 3 on with an adjustable. There's many different companies out there making adjustables now. I have the Babyliss Low Pro right now. I like the way that this cuts to clear hair. So I want to completely clear out Billy's hair here. It's overgrown, so I can go in and then set my fade line. Let's do a trick and tip here. All right, so I'll see a lot of barbers or students out there, they'll comb the hair here and then they'll cut. I'm not a huge fan of that. If you watch barbers hold the comb here but not pull down, it's so that the hair, when it's feeding into the comb attachment, the hair starts to get pushed. And when the hair gets pushed, it'll move to the right, or move forward, and then it'll bend, and it's not cutting properly. So what the comb can do is, as you're lifting the hair, I hold the comb in place to catch the hair so that I can continue to get a very clean and quick cut. Because the hair is so long. If you pull, you're putting tension on the hair. Hair has elasticity. So if you put too much tension on it and you're pulling it, when you cut it, it's going to cut shorter than what you think. And we want to be able to control what we're doing. One of our mottos at Shark Fin, it's all about control. That's why the shears are created the way that they are. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Again, this is a closed 3. I'm following the shape of the horseshoe parting I put in. This is going to separate the side from the top so I can put in my skin line and still keep Billy's hair longer on top. And we'll talk about that in a second. All right, so just fine tuning, making sure my canvas is super clean. So we're cleared out. Now I have room on the side, room on the back to start my fade. I got length here to move into the top, and now I can just worry about the bottom portion of the haircut. So we'll rock and roll. Okay, Billy specifically said he doesn't want to go down to skin, smooth as his palm, smooth as a baby's bottom, whatever you want to say. So I'm going to start my fade line, open, no guard. He said I could go to mid. So with my fade line, I'm going to go slightly below the midline to be able to produce the light to dark look. If you're just starting out, in my last class, I showed how to put a fade line in. So I'm going to start at the sideburn, move up to the height that I want. And I'm going to start in A. I'm going to go to the back of the head here. You can look down just a little bit. Create a B. We're going to go back to the other side. And here I'll look at Bill, chin up for me. And I can tell it's at his lower eyebrow on the other side. So I'm going to visualize that, work from the sideburn up. That's in line. Double check. So now I got two A's and a B, and I'm going to match the A to the B, A to the B, and it's a lot easier than going all the way around the head in one shot if you haven't practiced that enough. If you can do that, great, do it. If you're working on getting your fade to be even on both sides, you practice this on, I don't know, let's put a number to it. 15, 20 haircuts, you work on this, you'll be able to go all the way around the head, no problem. So again, this is open, no guard. It's going to show skin. Billy doesn't want to go down. Smooth. But we're going to give him a slight fade and make this look good for him. Following the same shape as I have up here, right behind the ear, dropping down. There's my A to my B connected. And down here, really making sure everything's cleaned up to a true open no guard. Very critical that your pressure here is a solid pressure. Not too light, not too hard. Finding that right pressure to cut the hair. Billy's hair, his growth pattern is going down and forward. So I'm going to turn the clipper to go against the grain there to make sure that that is all cut true to length. Now I can repeat this on this side. I'm going to turn the clipper slightly. So if I go straight across, I'm going to end up right here. If I were to go straight across. And then I wouldn't have a lot of room in the back of the head to fade. So a slight drop by turning the clipper down. Gives me a nice shape to the haircut. It matches Billy's head shape and what we're gonna do. Cool. Any questions coming through, Des? Cool. So once we're done here, let's talk quickly about where we are in the haircut and on the head. So for regrowth on this haircut, from here down, the taper area, rule of thumb, not a hard rule, rule of thumb, from the earlobes down is your taper area. And from the top of the ear to the client's point is your taper area in the sideburn. Those areas I'm gonna go tighter on. This is gonna help the regrowth, and it's gonna help the fade look better when it's all done. So I'm gonna drop my adjustable halfway. I'm gonna stay in that area that we just talked about. And create more of a light to dark look. So that's where we just went halfway. I'm gonna close it all the way, stay low. I just went up one notch. I'm gonna go in between the closed and open. Open it back up and blend a couple dark spots I'm seeing. So now we got a back taper, okay? Mid fade back taper down to close no guard. I'll taper in the area here. This is gonna add a little bit more dimension to the haircut. And it's gonna help the haircut grow in really well. You can tell that the angle of the clipper matches the top of the ear to the point. Because if I rotate it, then I'm gonna go around the ear and take the fade tighter, which is what we're not trying to do. Tilt. Sweet. Close it halfway. Pay attention to my clipper angle. Close it all the way. Stay low here. And we're going to do a little lever play to blend in between open and closed. Okay? Sweet. So now we have our structure in. We went down to our lowest point, just in the taper areas, again to help the overall haircut. I'm going to follow up, show you a panel. I'm going to fade in the left side panel, and then we'll repeat the process through the rest of the haircut. So I have a 2 on now. I'm going to follow up and under my 3. You should be able to see that getting a little lighter and hear it cutting. So the 3 up at the top gives me the length I want. The 2 underneath of that, I clear again. And that'll help set the canvas to finish my fade. So now I'm going to connect an open no guard into a 2. How you doing, Bill? You all right?
I'm good. Yeah.
You enjoying the show?
We got a comment from Lindsey Johnson.
Yeah.
I really like the 3 focal points to make sure you get the solid fade line all the way around the head. I feel like I struggle with this form from time to time, and I think that that will help a lot.
Great. And you can do that, you can use that technique on any, like, whether you're going bald fade or a 0 fade. So I'm glad that was helpful. So I have an open half guard now. I have a 2 up at the top here. And I'm gonna follow the same pattern that Cassie just commented on. So I'm gonna go up. I could do the same thing. So here's another way to control your fade. I can go up, A, come in the back, B, so let's just follow the same process, guys. And now let's connect them using the same technique. So A, B, we'll follow the same pattern, dipping as we get back behind the ear. And there is a clipper control technique I'm using. Two things I'm going to share with you guys right here. The ear is not, it's not hard bone. You guys got to get it out of the way. Bend the ear down so that you can get your clipper. The clipper's, it's big. Get the clipper on the side here. This is where I see a lot of my students struggle. They can't get over the ear. Move the ear down. Does that hurt, Bill? Nope. No. All right. Move that out of the way. You can see, if I pull him like that, you see his head go down, that's too tough. But if I pull in a way that it's firm, but he doesn't move, you're good. Get that ear out of the way so you can get low, move up the head, and then C-stroke off at the height that you want. You have to start lower than where you want to end, or you're gonna go too high. Okay? So move the ear, that's one thing. And then the other thing is, the tool is angled up here low, and then as I move up to where I want the line to be, I start to rotate the clipper down, and that creates my C-stroke where it hits the 3 points of the clipper, the teeth, the body, and the heel. So I'm starting with the teeth, I'm going up to cut the hair true to length, rotate the butt end of the clipper down while staying on the head, and you'll naturally flick off. And if you noticed, I didn't have to move quickly. I can go as slow as I want. So if you're not confident, you can go slow and then start to rotate out. And as your muscle memory builds, you'll be able to move quicker. But you gotta work on this, control and the process. All right, so same thing. You can see the line now. So I moved on to the back panel, and now I'm gonna move on to the right, and I have a guide here to be able to go to the appropriate height on the right side. And I'm just moving that guide now forward. Every client likes to tilt their head a certain way. Don't forget to kind of rotate it. So Billy likes to go down and forward. That's not helpful for me. So don't be afraid to adjust your client's head position to help you with your cutting. So teeth, 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 and then body and heel to rotate and create that C-stroke. The C-stroke is a technique to not put a line in, and it actually helps you blend into your next clipper length. Okay, so what I did here, now that I created the height that I wanted to go to, as I was working this way, I closed it a notch. I closed my clipper down, and I stayed under that fade line. So again, get the ear out of the way so you can work. Create that space. It's only going to be 30 seconds for the client and shouldn't be uncomfortable anyway. Logan just joined us. What's up, Logan? How's the haircut looking in the camera, buddy?
It looks amazing, actually.
It looks pretty good.
It looks, no, it looks really focused.
So Logan just came into the studio, former student. He was one of our first volunteers to be on Shark Fin Live. What would we even call your haircut? We don't even.
I don't have a haircut.
It's a modified mullet with a taper.
It's customized for hat wear.
Hat wear. Yeah, we got the flare out, right? Mullet. That's on Shark Fin Live if you want to go back and look at that video. All right, so let's finish our connection and go to the top. As you can see, we have minimal work to do. The C-stroke helps create that minimal work. I have an open one on now. So I have an open no, I had an open no guard, a half guard. Now I have an open one. I'm gonna flick this into the 2, and this should come out well. So I'm gonna have you tilt again, Bill, just a little bit, thanks. So again, ear out of the way, teeth on the head, and then rotate when I get to the height that I want. And I think that came together very nicely. I don't know, Bill, sorry man, this might be one of the best haircuts I gave you. I guess I'm just out here performing for the people on camera. Bill smiling makes it better? Smile does look good on Bill. Bill, are the kids going back to school?
Yep. Tomorrow.
Are you excited?
Yeah?
Are you nervous?
No.
Okay.
No, they're excited.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm a little nervous about my kids going back to school, but I guess they'll be okay.
How many kids do you have?
2 boys.
2 boys?
Yeah.
What's the age?
6 and 4.
Is 6 and 4 elementary? Or not elementary?
Preschool and first grade.
All right, guys, following this process up, I just want to cut Bill off for a second. Again, as I wrap that clipper work around the control, I have a guide as I'm working from left panel, back panel to right panel. I'm just following the guide as I move around the haircut. So as I mentioned before, Billy and I have been friends since 7th grade. We would go out and skateboard. I was the first one with the license, so everybody piled in the car. We would drive all over the place. Are the kids skating now?
Here and there. A little bit. Yeah, yeah.
And you're still skating?
Yes.
God bless you, sir.
This morning.
This morning you ran out?
Before this, yeah.
All right, so now that you got kids, what time are you going out?
Whenever I can, yeah.
Nice. Well, you got to go out early in the morning?
Yeah, I do lunch break. Lunch break usually. Yeah.
Oh, so your lunch breaks are either filled with haircuts or skateboarding?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
I used to do like the 7 a.m. before work type thing.
Awesome. I love it. All right, guys. Any questions on the bottom half of this haircut? Please feel free to let me know if you have any questions about the clippers, what I did where, because I'm going to move to the top and we're going to cut the top off of the bang length that Billy wants. and then we're gonna connect it to the rest of the haircut. So I'm gonna take my guide off Billy's, off the bang. I'm gonna move it to a center profile guide. We're gonna widen it out, and then we're gonna blend it to the side. I'll show you how to do that. And we'll do that now if you guys don't have any questions.
This looks really good. Bill, you look like one of those guys, like the rich guys from the 1800s, pocket watchers.
Yeah, with these bangs just hanging out here.
What time is it?
All right, this is something I mentioned on the last class. I'm gonna use a word that guys don't like. It's just recession line, okay? It hurts, but Billy's not receding, okay?
All right.
Recession line is where the front hairline meets the side. And why I'm gonna explain this to you, okay? We explained taper area. You gotta know where you are and what you're trying to do. This creates tailored looks for the client in your chair. It creates consistency, and it will increase your retention, okay? And you don't have to guess. You're not doing a million different haircuts. You got a few techniques that are gonna help tailor the haircut to your client, okay? They're gonna think it's magic, trust me. All right, so if I can identify my client's recession line, it's very easy. Front hairline meets the side. And again, look, when I pull up Billy's bang, he has a good hairline for being
35.
29 years old. How old are you? 35?
I'll be 36 in a couple of weeks.
Let's go. Oh, yeah, you're a September baby. Is it September 8th?
4th.
4th.
4th, yeah.
All right, my bad.
That's all right. I don't remember yours.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so why does this matter? One, I'm going to show you how to take the guide from the bang. Okay? This is a specific technique. Something I share with my students. It takes out all the guessing work for the rest of the top cutting. Okay? When I have a client who specifically wants to keep a longer front, I will tend to start here. All right. So let's show you how to figure this out. So recession, and again, with the client in your chair, you don't have to use the word recession. I'm using it for our purposes here. All right. Now, why is this so important? Well, I want to maintain the integrity of Billy's, of what he asked for. And he wants to keep the front longer. 2, if you have a gentleman with a receding hairline, like this guy, me, okay? If you can go recession to recession, I'm using some of the hair from the top of the head to create a stronger front. So that's what my fringe and bang area is, okay? It's an illusion. It's really not as strong as it looks, okay? All right. So a little discomfort for Billy. I'm going to bring this down in his eyeballs. And now, guys, again, here's a tip for you to be consistent. Use reference points. You got to use reference points. Billy's bang is longer than his eyebrows. Okay? It's down to the bridge of his nose. He said he wants it back to the eyebrow or above. So that is a reference point. So I know how much I'm cutting off on the front now. I wet the hair. Wet hair stretches. So I'm going to be mindful that when it dries, it's going to bounce up a little bit. So my rule of thumb, if someone wants it slightly above their eyebrow, I'm going to cut it right at the eyebrow when it's wet. And then when it dries, it'll shrink up a little bit. All right. Bill, face me, please. Thank you. This helps my posture. My middle finger is on his eyebrow. I'm cutting his front at low elevation, which is going to create a lot of length. Once I cut that center guide, I'm going to move around the head till I get to the side. So as you can see, that's still slightly longer, so I'm going to go back and trim it. If hair is going to be at the eyebrow or longer, then I'm using shear over finger. If he was gonna cut it to his forehead, I would put the shear on the forehead, like this, go underneath, and I would just cut across the length that I want to. But I wanna protect Billy's eyeballs. I think he likes to see, and I don't wanna second guess anything, and I wanna move confidently.
If you see any stray eyebrow hairs.
Oh, we're gonna clean all that
Okay.
up. Yeah, you're doing pretty good though.
I'm surprised.
You're not receding, your hair, your eyebrows aren't going crazy,
Just getting gray.
ear hair's not crazy
Yeah.
yet. You're doing all right, bud. Okay, so fringe area is cut.
We have a question.
1 second, I want to share this one thing and then we can go into the question. I cut it straight across. I don't want this type of look, so I'm going to go in with a feather razor today to be able to texturize the front, or you could go in and point cut it. I showed point cutting on another class, so I'm going to go in with my feather razor, my shark fin feather razor, and do a little texture. All right, what's the question, Des?
If a client has a widow's peak or a V-shape, also known as a Vegeta hairline,
Yes.
I added that. V-shaped hairline, should you leave the hairline or does it depend?
Yeah, so this is consultation question. If a client shares with you that, oh, I got this widow's peak, they're telling you like it's a problem. So now you got to figure out what you want to do depending on the hairstyle. Like if it's short and up and they have a widow's peak, you got to talk to them a little bit about the reality. You have a small amount of area that you could take the widow's peak off without it looking out of place, and that the regrowth won't come back in like 5 to 7 days and be a problem. If they have a widow's peak like and they're wearing their hair longer like Billy's, that's easier to hide. I would go recession to recession, and with that V shape coming down, really what you have to do is just shorten the middle so that it looks straight across, and you'll be able to hide it a lot easier that way. So it depends on the hairstyle. Is it a short hairstyle, long hairstyle, and then kind of going from there.
I have a widow's peak.
Yeah, so Des has a widow's peak, and I line him up, but I keep it more natural because how often Des gets a haircut. If you have a client who's going to come back and see you every 7 to 10 days, line it up. That's fine. But the regrowth typically is a problem if you're pushing someone's hairline in. All right, so we did a little texturizing here with the feather razor. The harder the angle on the feather razor, the more it's going to cut. So I have a very like soft angle, and I'm just kind of, you can see that kind of lightening up for Bill. It's going to give him more movement, which is what he wants because he wants to go up and over. All right. So whoever asked that question, thank you. And if I didn't answer your question, you can ask it again. But if I did answer your question, if you could give me a thumbs up, that would be helpful too. All right. So I mentioned to you, I'm going to do a center profile guide. I'll show you what that looks like. I really like the front area, the way that that's coming out. I'm going to pinch in between Billy's eyebrows here, walk the hair up. Here's the guide from the bang. So now I can cut straight across. This is going to give me the length for the top. When did you say has it been 4 to 6 weeks since your last haircut, right?
Yeah.
And that's how often. So this is a perfect amount. Hair grows about 1/4 to 1/2 inch a month, and depending on the client, you'll get to know your client if their hair grows like fast or slow. So this for Billy, I think, is like right on point. So we're gonna walk that all the way back. In the crown, I'm gonna pick this straight up to start. It's gonna be slightly over directed, and that's gonna leave it long so that we can blend in the back area. Okay, so now what I like to do, I have a center profile guide. I'm left-handed, so I like to comb the hair to the right. If your client doesn't wear it this way, it doesn't matter. It's not gonna affect the haircut. But now when I pick the hair up, I have a guide. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, people might ask why I'm counting out loud. 5. The average cut on top, if you want to cut more precision based without going crazy, so let's just more precision, the average head, when you're cutting on top, you should be cutting about a minimum of 4 sections. So I was counting out loud so you guys could see what that looked like. Now I did 4, and I did a small, because the back of the head kind of gets narrow again. I did 5. I did 4.5, whatever you want to say. So we cut the center off of the bang length. So we kept the bang long by cutting it at low elevation. We elevated it, cut straight across the top. We kept the crown area slightly over directed. We came to the top. The guide was in the middle. We widened it left to middle, middle to right. If you're right-handed, you could go just the opposite. And you can go right to middle, middle to left, whatever you want to do. And here, because we already had this section and this is a nice blend, I now can bring a section down from the top. Des, can you see that hangover? So my guide is now going to come from the clipper work here. And because I went up and off the head, like up and kind of flicked out, I have length here. And this is now going to be my guide that I'm going to use to pick up in the comb and cut to create this blend, short to long. So I'm going to go in, underneath the hair, get the hair picked up, come up to, and cut. I can see my guide very clearly. And in the back, just going to dip the comb slightly to match my clipper work. So I'm going to bring down another section. Leave out the recession area, the bang area.
Noah T, which is the one who asked the question earlier, said you answered his question.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate you. Okay, so Billy likes to wear his hair to the right, so if you look at this, we have enough hair to flow over without a part. If he goes in the pool, he goes swimming, he's taking a shower, look how balanced this left side is now. Even with all the hair on the top of the head coming down to our like crashing point here. This is a balanced haircut with versatility and styling. So let's go to the back. We'll go to the other side, and that's going to wrap it up a little bit today. I do want to share with you while I'm cutting. So now I have 2 guides real quick. I finished the left. So now when I pick up the hair, I actually have a guide coming from the left. I have a guide coming underneath from the clipper work. And as long as those 2 line up, you're golden. I'm using a double shark fin today. Well, that's what I use. It's a 6 1/4. I like the versatility of the 6 1/4 because I can cut more precision if I want. I can cut a big section if I want. And in general, when I'm going through and cutting, it keeps me very well controlled. We have a 5 1/2, which is I would say is precision based, and then we have a 7, which for this type of work here, you would be able to move quick and cut. All scissor haircuts, you can move quicker with a 7. It's a great tool to use. You got to know what you're looking to do, what you're looking to achieve when you're picking your tools. So I go middle of the road right now, 6 1/4. You can see the angle here. I'm angling down to blend into the longer bang. And I like the double shark fin. The metal it's made with cuts wet and dry. I love dry cutting. It's a workhorse for me. It's very versatile, and the way that it's built ergonomically, it keeps my hand in a proper position while I'm cutting, and matched with shark fins fitting, how we fit for the hand to be, or for the shear to be personalized to your hand. It's just, again, it's all about the control, and that's why I just really love the system that Shark Fin came up with. So based off of the way that they create the shear ergonomically, and then their fitting system, I'm comfortable behind the chair all day cutting. And again, I like the double shark for my tool of choice right now. All right, we're gonna now connect the bang to the interior of the haircut. You can see this peak here. So I'm gonna gently, little tension, comb the hair into my fingers, and I will have 2 guides, and the guide will tell me how to angle my finger to increase length into the bang so that Billy can still style it the way that he wants to.
Karen Oren said this was a great visual,
Love it.
and tips. Thank you! Exclamation mark.
Thank you. If you have anything else in the future that you'd like to see or tricks or tips on while you're cutting, please feel free to share. I'll put out all the content that I know to be helpful, but love to hear from you guys in the future. All right, so this is my style of cutting. I save the outlining for last. Some people will do it after they finish the side. As you can see, everything is blended. We got long hair on top. We have a mid-skin fade, not bald. I'm sorry, I think we nailed it. Yeah, so let's trim it up. I got technically 1 minute and 20 seconds left. I'd love to answer any questions and wrap up from there. Got hair on the mic. All right, so while I'm outlining for Billy, I'm just gonna keep his outline very natural. So I'm just seeing where the hairline starts to get more consistent. That's pretty much all I look for when I'm lining somebody up. I know people struggle with lineups. So you can see in the back here, the hair is very piecey towards the outside, and then I can see a clear visual of where it starts to become more of a connected line, and that's all I aim for. The hair basically tells me what to do. I just have to match the clipper angle to the hair, and that's it.
Thomas and Jackie, thank you for your time today and showing me a technique I haven't yet seen. Thanks again.
You're welcome. Thank you again for tuning in. Appreciate all the support. If you guys want to stick around just for just a minute, I just want to share that promo code for you. And yeah, again, any other comments, please feel free to DM us on Instagram. Email us at education@sharkfinshears.com. Any feedback is welcomed. Anything you'd like to see in the future, we'd love to hear from you. Okay, so while I'm wrapping this up, if you joined us today by yourself, you can go to the website, sharkfinshears.com, professional line and up, promo code VP20 for single shear purchase, pro line up. You can get 20% off today. Check out the swivel, check out the non-swivel, the sizes. And then read the description. I shared the description of the double shark fin, why I like it, why I use it. Pay attention to what you're looking for in a shear. Check out the description, see if it matches up. We got something for everybody. If you're a school tuning in today and you do not have a student kit and you'd like to bring shark fin shears into your school, please contact us, get with a rep, use VP10 for your first school purchase to receive a discount as well. Guys, thank you again so much for tuning in. We will not be here next week because of Labor Day. Have a wonderful and safe holiday. We'll see you in 2 weeks.